Number one is veganism. The second thing is blockchain. And the third thing is cryptocurrency. The most common thing that people think is that vegans eat grass and lettuce all day.
I'm a meat eater. I just bought a burger with Bitcoin. You're watching me eat it.
It's actually a very cool idea.
No eggs, no nothing, vegan mentality people.
When you interview Mr. Rubini, he will tell you that exact same thing.
How do you convince me to do that?
It's very important.
That's unsurprising. So why don't you tell me what you just said about tokenizing jokes?
So one of the jokes that always go around is like, what else can you tokenize? And when we were walking down, someone brought up the idea of tokenizing jokes, which is actually a very cool idea. If you think about it, it could be like Steam It for jokes, where someone can post their jokes and make some money off them, so it's pretty cool. So but it just shows you of where the industry is going. Like everyone's thinking, what can we tokenize? And
jokes is like the next obvious.
Definitely. Well, my grandfather would be the winner. He has the best joke, the dirtiest jokes, but the best jokes ever.
Could you tell us one on camera?
Definitely not. He would, but not me.
So what do you tokenize then, if not jokes?
We're not tokenizing
anything.
We are building a new vegan ecosystem designed to unite the global vegan community, where the vegan cryptocurrency, vegan coin, is one aspect of what we're doing.
So could you tell us a vegan joke?
A vegan joke? I'm not a fan of vegan jokes.
That's unsurprising. Okay, so what came up with the idea to build a vegan community? Why do vegans need a community? It seems like in person you can just find each other. There's the joke, you don't need to, you can always spot a vegan because they announce it when they enter the room.
Absolutely.
So where's the lack, you know?
So the vegan community is a community by definition. The definition of a nation is a group of people that have common values and common interests, and that is the vegan community around the world. The issue is that they're all spread it out through, there are about 300 million vegans in the world, yet everyone is small communities, a bunch of Facebook groups, and it's not yet a power to be reconciled with of a global economy. And that's what VeganNation is here to do, is to unite everyone in order to make veganism more sustainable for the long run and really take it to the next level. The idea of VeganNation came from my personal challenge. I was on a cycling trip through the Alps and I was starving. And I realized I saw all these beautiful houses on the mountain, and I said, there's got to be a fellow vegan living in one of those houses. If there would be a way for us to connect, I'm sure he would love to invite me for dinner. And it would be super cool to meet a vegan just living in the middle of nowhere. And that's when I realized that we got to come together as a community. We can solve so many of the challenges of the vegan daily life.
So the vegan community, would you ever consider using sort of a vegan dating app within that tokenized, built on the blockchain, so that vegans could find love with other vegans?
It's very important. So what we're doing is we're building the technological platform and infrastructure for the vegan community. The way we envision it is that every vegan person in the world with different ideas, either it's dating or some super cool new ideas to advance veganism, will be able to come, sit on our platform, enjoy the data and the power of our community in order to launch anything that they want.
So could a vegetarian use the vegan token, or are you really making this community for like the hardcore, die-hard, no eggs, no nothing, vegan mentality people?
So first of all, if there's one thing about vegans, is that we're not a closed community. We want the world to know about it. We want to educate the world and inspire the world to live a plant-based lifestyle. So the services on VeganNation will be vegan services. I believe that that's where the world is going. In many of the developed countries, veganism is growing by 100% a year. Those numbers are incredible, and I believe that the world is going there. So yes, you will find only vegan products on VeganNation. vegan food services and so on and so on. But the way I see it is that anyone in the world that is interested in veganism, either from Meatless Monday, Green Monday, 3 days a week, once in a while, they will be able to find all their vegan needs, all their vegan information, all their vegan products on VeganNation.
Okay, so like here's like, we have the rap battle stage, or not the rap, we have the battle stage upstairs. So we could do a battle here. It's like, I'm a meat eater, I just bought a burger with Bitcoin. You're watching me eat it, and I say, convince me to buy a veggie burger with the vegan coin. How do you convince me to do that?
I don't believe in convincing. I believe in leading by example. I think that me personally in my life, that's what I believe in. I've seen it on the people around me. I don't think that I mean, I barely ever preach veganism. Just people around me and around the team, they see it's a healthier lifestyle, it's a happier lifestyle. Me personally, I turned vegan because I realized that we are the energy that we surround ourselves. We are what we consume. We are what we eat. And veganism is the purest thing to take into your body. And I think when I show that to people, it slowly resonates. And I've seen that on countless people.
So have you run into a lot of vegans here today?
There are some, yes. What's amazing, I mean, really what's amazing about traveling the world and blockchain conferences is that so many people in the blockchain community are vegans, or vegetarians, or something in between, and they come over and they love the idea. It's super cool. Even like people from different projects just love the idea of VeganNation.
So would you ever want to get all of the vegan people to actually one nation, you know, in the future, buy an island, and that would be the VeganNation?
So first of all, I believe there's a few countries in the world that are on a very fast track to become VeganNation. Places like Mallorca, Spain, is a vegan heaven. If you go to Tel Aviv, I really believe that Tel Aviv can become the first vegan city in the world. But what we tell people is we're beyond borders. I don't believe in the old system of you have to have one place, you have to have one idea, and things like that. I believe that people from around the world are going to come and unite beyond borders, beyond traditional currencies, in order to build a better future.
So when you see the future becoming more cryptocurrency or blockchain based, is veganism also interlinked with that for you? Could you ever see those two things splitting apart? Like, we use blockchain more and veganism falls by the wayside, or is that like not an option?
I don't believe that. I truly believe in three things for the future of the world. The number one is veganism. It's never been on a decline. It's only going up. The second thing is blockchain. And the third thing is cryptocurrency. The reason why cryptocurrency and blockchain are so vital to the vegan community and why they go so perfectly together is because the idea of blockchain and crypto is bringing transparency to the world. That's what's so vital to the vegan community. We want the world to see what they're eating and make a conscious decision based on that. And the fundamentals of blockchain and crypto are a lot of the fundamentals of the vegan community and the vegan mindset.
So have you found any good vegan places to eat here in Las Vegas?
I've not had the time.
So when you go to a bunch of conferences like this all around the world, blockchain, crypto, I'm assuming that the vegan option isn't always there. What do you do then?
Definitely not. Well, one of my favorite parts of traveling the world is finding the best vegan restaurants wherever I go. And I post them on social media for people to see how beautiful and how tasty vegan food is, because the most common thing that people think is that vegans eat grass and lettuce all day. And people that follow me on social media knows that there are very few people that eat better than I do.
So is that part of your brand, you know, being a social media vegan influencer as part of your leading by example?
I believe I'm doing my job to show the world the beauty of veganism, and definitely, but the way I see VeganNation is not one person being the influencer, it's about reaching mass influencers. Every person is an influencer. Some people will have will have influence over 2 people around their surrounding, their family. Some people have a bigger influence, and some people have much larger than that. My goal is for every vegan to understand that we can make the world a better place by coming together, working together.
So do you have any plans maybe in the future to have your own blockchain conference that would be a vegan one?
Absolutely. First of all, I believe that as VeganNation grows, we will be getting the message out there with a vegan conference together with blockchain. Celsius and Alex Mashinsky talk about bringing the next 100 million people onto blockchain and into crypto. And I really believe that it's the vegan community which is going to be the next mass adopters of blockchain and crypto, because when you travel around conferences, people are always asking, there's no killer app, there's nothing to draw the masses of people onto blockchain yet. Okay? And when you interview Mr. Rubini, he will tell you that exact same thing. But for the vegan community, we wake up every morning choosing a challenging lifestyle based on the stuff that we believe in. When we bring that together with crypto and blockchain, the vegan community will be the first mass adopters of crypto and blockchain because it's going to answer the most vital part and aspect of veganism, which is being able to trace the supply chain, clean money, transparency, and all that.
So could you make the comparison, bear with me, to the adult entertainment industry? Because the adult entertainment industry has always said that they're always at the forefront of technology. You know, video, now VR, they're the ones that are getting in there. So could you see vegans as doing the same, playing the same role here?
That's actually a first. It's the first time that someone compared those two. What I gotta say is the gambling industry and the adult entertainment, they've always been on the forefront of technology because they're always trying to advance, try to get better, and they're willing to break almost every rule possible. That's being used to the negative, to my opinion. What I believe is that veganism and vegan people are those type of people that are willing to challenge the system, willing to challenge the status quo, and they're going to be willing to adapt very fast to cryptocurrency and to blockchain when they understand what it brings to the vegan idea.
So I see you guys have a stand upstairs, and I'm sure you have stands at other conferences. Do you ever get people asking just like really ignorant questions about veganism there? What's like an example of something like that?
One of the most ignorant questions, there's so many. It just, the challenge of the world is not that people are against veganism. People are not aware, people are not educated. So when someone is surprised that vegans don't eat eggs, it's not because they're against veganism, they really don't know what's behind veganism and the stuff that are driving it around the world. Another aspect, veganism is not only from the ideology of making sure that we don't harm the environment or to harm any animals. The government of China, their plan for the next decade is to reduce meat consumption by 50%. That's a government plan in China. It's because continue to eating meat and dairy the way we do today is not sustainable for the future of the planet. And it's governments like China that are going to be on the forefront of moving this forward. So I'm pretty positive that the world is moving there, and it's moving there fast.
Cointelegraph. Like, subscribe, and hodl.